In the mystical realm of Trinidad, the enigmatic presence of Jumbies, mischievous or malevolent spirits that are said to roam the earth, casts an eerie and unsettling aura across the land. These spectral entities are known for their inhuman actions, characterized by deceit, theft, abuse, and even violence. Under the cloak of night, Jumbies emerge to wreak havoc, their presence marked by the disruptive clamor of phantom footsteps and the sound of heavy objects being moved by unseen hands. Among these spectral figures, the Jab Molassie Jumbie stands as a haunting embodiment of tragedy and torment. Legend has it that the Jab Molassie Jumbie is the ghost of a slave who met a gruesome fate, plunging into a vat of boiling molasses within the confines of a sugar factory. This chilling incident finds its roots in the age-old traditions of sugarcane farming, particularly the practice of burning the cane fields to facilitate harvesting. In the sweltering heart of the 18th century Trinidad, the sugar industry transformed the island into a landscape of endless cane fields and towering smokestacks, fueled by the relentless toil of African slaves. The air was heavy with the scent of burning fields, a practice that made the tough skin of sugarcane yield to the machete's kiss, and the sky was often painted with the soot of their labor. Pico de la Pérouse, a Frenchman with visions of grandeur, constructed the first sugar mill in 1787. Woodbrook Yard, it was called, a name that would soon be synonymous with both progress and suffering. The mill, along with its boiling and curing houses, stood like sentinels amidst the lesser structures that dotted the estate. Blacksmiths, wheelwrights, and carpenters plied their trades here, all under the yoke of bondage. The British Empire's insatiable appetite for sugar cast a dark shadow over Trinidad and Tobago. The slaves, viewed as mere cogs in a lucrative machine, faced brutalities that were as common as they were cruel. Within the oppressive walls of Woodbrook Yard, a narrative of sorrow was woven into the very fabric of the place. The factory was alive with the drone of machinery and the bustle of activity. Amidst this cacophony, enslaved workers moved like shadows, their bodies etched with the scars of labor and lashes. At the center of this infernal industry churned a vat of boiling molasses, a treacherous cauldron whose sticky contents glistened ominously in the dim light. It was here that fate would conspire to etch a tale of horror into the annals of Trinidad's history. One day, as the sun beat down on the factory with merciless intensity, an exhausted slave faltered. His limbs, heavy with fatigue from the relentless pace of work, betrayed him. A misstep, a moment's loss of balance, was all it took for him to tumble towards the vat. With a heart-wrenching plunge, he descended into the molten abyss. The boiling molasses enveloped him, extinguishing life and breath in its viscous embrace. The factory ground to a halt, overseers and slaves alike stood frozen as a chilling silence descended. In the days that followed, an eerie pall hung over Woodbrook Yard. Whispers of the slave's anguished demise filled the air, and it was said that his spirit, the Jab Molassie, was born from this dark confluence of tragedy and molasses. The Jab Molassie became a spectral wanderer, haunting not just Woodbrook Yard but all estates. His presence felt along even the most neutral of highways. This Jumbie was no ordinary spirit. He bore horns and wings, and his pitchfork was an unmistakable token of devilry. The Jab Molassie masquerade emerged from this legend, a cathartic play where former slaves covered themselves in molasses, transforming their suffering into a defiant display of resilience and remembrance. They danced wildly, chains and ropes around their waists, beating on pitch oil pans in a frenzied rhythm that echoed their untamed spirits. Today's Jab Molassie has evolved to include devils of every hue: red, green, white, yellow, blue, and even those cloaked in chocolate syrup and mud. They throw themselves to the ground in dramatic displays, threatening mischief unless appeased with $1 or $2. This tale, a blend of history and folklore, continues to resonate through Trinidad and Tobago, a reminder not only of past sorrows but also of an indomitable spirit that refuses to be forgotten. So, the question remains, are you willing to pay the devil?